Hello everyone, we're gonna start.
It's true.
Welcome to Kaist One Uae. Thank you all for coming. I hope you guys have a great time today. I would like to start by thanking our Emirati friends for all the work that they do in the event. They did a wonderful job. I hope you guys enjoy the event. I would, of course, also like to thank ISSS for all the wonderful work that they do for the international community, including the events. And, of course, Mr. Uae, and he's gonna give us a word here. Thank you. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Hi everyone. Hi. Good to see you again. Okay. How are you? Good. Good? No, actually I'm not. I'm freezing. Alright, the weather is getting cold, actually, so please be sure to stay healthy. Okay, today, I have a few things to share with you. Firstly, final exam. The final exam is only just 3 weeks away. December 11th. Yeah. Are you guys happy with that? No? No? But don't be disappointed. IT Class is organizing a year-end party for our international community. It will be on Tuesday, December 5th. It starts at 6 p.m. in the auditorium. I believe it's going to be fun. So I hope you guys could join the party and go crazy with the activities we prepared. Okay. And the third thing is that, as you may know, Mr. Osama, the organizer and who organized as well as moderated our Kaist One events for the last 1.5 years, is going to leave Kaist for a while in order to join an exchange program, which is good for him. So, Osama, I mean, we really appreciate all your hard work and contributions. With your great efforts, every single Kaist event was successful. Okay. Please give him a big round of applause. And this is a small gift from all of us, so please.
It has actually been a really pleasure for me organizing this event. I got to meet so many new people and got so many new experiences, and I'm really overwhelmed by the kindness that Mr. Lee shows me, and I'm sure that he shows this kindness to all of us. So thank you very much, Mr. Lee, from me and from maybe all of us. Yeah.
Great job. And why don't we take a group photo for him, actually. But you guys just stay there. Osama, stand in the middle and turn around. Oh, yeah. You don't need to turn around. It's gonna be a word. So you could say anything. Say kimchi for him. Wow, thank you. Any noise for him? Thank you very much. You should come back. Okay. All right. At the same time, we are very grateful that Ms. Huda has accepted our request to succeed Mr. Usama. So thank you, Huda. I'm pretty sure that you'll be an even better organizer than your predecessor. Honestly, Usama. No. All right. Okay. And lastly, it is my great honor to have a special guest from the UAE Embassy today, Mr. Saab Al-Teneji, the third secretary of UAE Embassy. Please welcome him. Thank you very much for joining us today. We have another special guest from the Emirates Nuclear Energy Corporation, Ms. Kaist One Uae, yes, Senior Strategic Studies Specialist, Mr. Yajan Mahawi, ENS Korea Office Manager. It's great to have you on our Kaist One Uae events. And for your information, the UAE Embassy supported all the expenses of the food and refreshment we are doing today. I really appreciate that. And the good thing is that ENEC has been supporting very generous scholarship for Kaist UAE students. So on behalf of member of Kaist, I really appreciate for your great support and consideration. Thank you very much. And this is it. I think now it's time to start the most important part of today's event, our presentation. So I believe they are preparing so many things, including the performances. So please make a noise for that.
Okay, hi. Good evening, everybody. I'm here. I have the honor tonight to present to you about my country, the United Arab Emirates, and I hope that everyone will be able to enjoy the presentation and the performance. I hope that by the end of tonight, you will learn something about our culture, our traditions, and our history. And the picture that you see in front of you, in my opinion, it shows the essence of the UAE as it makes room for the future without losing sight of its culture. So where is the UAE? The UAE is in the west of Asia. Yes, it's an Asian country. It's in the region commonly known as the Middle East. It's bordered by two countries. There is Oman to one side, it's to the east, and then Saudi Arabia is to the south and to the west. So before we start, I have one question about the UAE. And I will ask this question. Please, if you know the answer, raise your hand. Do not shout out the answer. I will pick you. Okay? So, what is the capital of the UAE? Is it Abu Dhabi, Riyadh, Dubai, or Sharjah? Oh, there? Dubai. Oh, that is incorrect. Who wants to try? See? Yes! Abu Dhabi! Yes! Abu Dhabi is the capital of the UAE. It is not Dubai, as many people seem to have that misconception. Which leads me to my next question, the next topic actually, misconceptions. So, misconceptions, there are a lot of misconceptions about the UAE. We're here to clarify those. We picked 5 of the most commonly asked questions to us, and we would like to engage with you and tell you what's right and what's wrong. We will point the direction to you. So, first one, Dubai is a country, right? No. Dubai is not a country, please. Every time someone asks us where we're from, we would say, oh, I'm from the United Arab Emirates, I'm from the UAE. And then after a few seconds of awkward silence, I'd be like, oh, Dubai. And they'd be like, oh, okay, yes, I know that country. It's not a country, I'm sorry. You can see that is Dubai, the Emirate of Dubai, the city of Dubai, but that's the whole of the UAE. So another question that we get. So everyone has an oil well in their backyard, right? I know. This is ridiculous, right? It's a ridiculous question, but it's a question that I've gotten at least twice since I've come to Korea. Well, it would be very nice. Saving myself the trip to go to the gas station and taking a bucket to my backyard would be very nice, but unfortunately that's not true. A lot of the oil is concentrated off coast. It's mostly in the Gulf, and definitely not where anybody lives. So please strike that misconception out. The third one, this is kind of a big one. So a lot of people ask me, women aren't really allowed to drive in the UAE, right? Women don't really have rights. Well, instead of telling you this, why don't I show you? You can make your own assumptions. That is a military air pilot woman. So I think if she can be a pilot, it's a safe guess to say that she can drive, right? Yeah. In fact, the UAE women are encouraged, and they're definitely allowed and definitely encouraged to work in all types of fields. They make up 66% of all government jobs. That was in 2015. I'm sure the figure is only going up. And they took up about 50% of all small and medium-sized businesses in the country. Now to the fourth misconception. Everyone wants tigers in the UAE, right? Right? Haven't you heard this? I mean, come on, I don't have a tiger. I hate having to clarify this so many times. I don't have a lion. No, I'm joking. All kidding aside, that was not that common. Like, some people did, yes. That was not that common, but apparently everyone thinks everyone has tigers. No. Well, this became illegal in January of this year. You can no longer have private ownership of exotic pets. And now to the end of this topic. The UAE is in the Middle East, so obviously it's dangerous, right? Well, why don't I ask my Korean friends here? Due to your friends up north, Korea is pretty safe, right? Well, we live in a very tension-filled region, that's true. But the UAE itself is very safe. It was ranked the second safest country for tourism, and Abu Dhabi was ranked the safest city by crime index. The crime is so low that it's the safest city in the whole world. Okay, now I will go to the next part of our presentation, the demographics. So what is our country? What's it called? It's called the United Arab Emirates. That is the official title of our country. Usually we shorten it to just UAE. The language, the capital is Abu Dhabi, as we said before. And as we said, not Dubai, please. Language is Arabic. I think that's obvious from the name. And then, what is the area like? As you can see here, the area of the UAE is roughly close to that of Korea, but it's a bit smaller. It's at 83,000 kilometers squared versus 100,000 kilometers squared, but the population is very, very different. The population, it's 9.4 million versus 51 million. Yeah, that's a lot. The UAE is a bit smaller and a lot less densely populated than Korea. So what's the currency of the UAE? We use the Emirati dirham. Anyone who visited the Kaist One Morocco would know about this. The two countries that use dirham as their national currency is the UAE and Morocco. Now I want to talk a bit about the demographic, like what is the population made up of? Well, we're very mixed people, and there are a lot of immigrants in the UAE. And it's made up as follows. 28% of all people in the UAE are Indian, 13% are Pakistani, 11% are the actual Emiratis. So we're a minority within our own country, which is obviously very strange to a lot of people. But yeah, that's the case. And you remember we talked about 9 million? Yeah, we're basically 1 million. Yeah. Now, this is a bit of a boring part, but I'm going to try to make it short, and I'm going to try to say it in a nice way so that you will not get too bored. Hopefully don't fall asleep. So, very, very long ago, 6000 BC, people started settling here. People started living off fish. In the year 630, Islam spread to the region. The UAE is a Muslim country. In 1498, Portuguese explorers arrived. And from then, they started taking over the trade, they started raiding the cities, the ports, and basically took over the trade. And around like the 1600s, other European powers also came in, and they were fighting between each other. And in the 1700s, the English Navy finally pushed out all the other forces, and it was predominantly the biggest power there. So during that time, we were known as the pirate coast because we would harass the trade ships. So the pirate coast and the English Navy over there, they wanted to kind of make treaties, and finally in 1820, the English signed a treaty with the local tribes. Basically, we protect you. No outside force will do anything to you as long as you do not harass our trade ships. So that was signed. From then on, we were known as the Trucial States. There were 7 of us, 7 of the Trucial States. And finally, after being a British protectorate for a very long time, the British said, okay, so we're going to leave in 3 years. It was 1968, and they said they were leaving by 1971. So starting from then, the 7 Trucial States, plus Qatar and Bahrain, went into talks to become one united country. And that's here. In 1971, 6 of the Emirates became the UAE, and it became an official country. So this is the division of the Emirates. That's Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Fujairah, Ajman, Multiwain, Ras Al Khaimah. Ras Al Khaimah was the last emirate to join. They joined 2 months after the country was declared. Unfortunately, Qatar and Bahrain never actually joined. They became independent countries of their own. This is a picture of our leaders, the seven sheikhs of every emirate. And what was the economy before? Before, we were dependent on fishing and pearl diving. And unfortunately, in the 1920s, with the rise of artificially cultured pearls, the industry just collapsed. People wouldn't buy natural pearls because they're a lot more expensive. And the whole region went into an economic depression until the oil boom. After the oil boom, the country changed so much. I have visual aids. This is about like the 1980s. You can see it, that the same road now looks like this. Oh. That was in about 30 years, I would say. This, you can see 1985. You can see the roundabout here. It's a landmark. You can, like, once you see it, you're going to know it. What it looks like now, 2015, it's that. Yeah. So the UAE changed very much, and business flourished, and industry flourished after that. Now, I have one more question before I leave you guys. I will hand up the presentation. So in what year did the UAE become an official country? Anyone who knows? The one jumping over there? What? 1971, and that's correct. Very good. Okay, now I'm gonna give my friend the presentation. Here you go.
So, now that we learned a bit about the history of the country, let's see what UAE has to offer. First, in terms of geography, and I know what you're thinking. Geography. What geography? Isn't it just only deserts? Well, that's where you're wrong. Although the UAE is around 80% desert, it actually does have much more. So the deserts do cover 80% of the land, and they're actually filled with a lot of roaming camels and also other wildlife. And during the winter, when it is suitable to light a fire, people usually go there and they have barbecues with their friends under the stars. Next, mountains. They're actually much more common than you think, especially in the eastern part of the country. They usually engulf water, as you can see here. And they're actually a very nice getaway for people who are trying to look for a change of environment. Next, we have islands. There are actually natural islands across the Gulf of the Arabian Gulf. The most famous one, Uae, was actually in the running for the 7 natural wonders of the world. And although we do have natural islands, we also have artificial ones. So the Palm Jumeirah is an artificial island representing a palm tree in Dubai, and it attracts a very different type of lifestyle. The long white beaches and blue waters and attract many hotels, resorts, and also private residences. Finally, we also have mangrove forests, especially in Abu Dhabi. They span around 110 kilometers, and they serve as a habitat for many different species and also prevent coastline erosion. So now that we know a bit about the history, the geography, it's time to learn about the culture of the UAE. A peculiar thing about our culture is the way that we greet each other. Different people greet each other differently. So for example, men usually go for the quote-unquote noses, as you can see.
I'm trying to live stream the event from the phone. So here, there's a phone working. So I just put the phone on a stand.
So this is usually for
you wouldn't be able to see it from here, like
situations
standing
that's very
in the
popular
front.
among friends and guys.
Yeah, so here I'm just checking the quality of the video.
For parents, we usually kiss them on the heads or even on their hands. This is because our culture has a very big emphasis on respecting our elders. And a very big part of our culture is what is known as majlis, or in Emirati slang, milas. Directly translated, it means a place of sitting. So every household in the Emirates has this room, and it's basically a place where we welcome our guests and make them feel accommodated in our homes. We chat, we gather with friends, and we also have a very big feast sometimes. And we sit usually on the floor, and we also eat on our hands. That's the traditional way. And a very big part of our culture, especially with women, is henna. It is a plant-based dye that acts as a temporary tattoo. It's actually pretty popular around the world as well. And it's usually used for weddings or special occasions by women. So now we're going to have a brief performance.
stay here? Because of this, I don't have to go to Sweden. Because of this, I don't have to go to Sweden.
Sweden?
Sweden.
For exchange?
Yeah, for sure.
Next semester?
Next semester, but the semester starts in January. But the semester starts in 1 month. So I'll just go directly from Korea.
You're gonna go directly from
Yeah, directly from Seoul.
Korea to Sweden? We can meet in Europe.
Yeah, sure. So where do you study?
France.
Is it on the north part of France? Is it in the north part of France?
I'm done with studying. I'm done with studying.
You'll be working.
My internship.
Oh, in which city?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay, I see.
But probably in France. So we can also meet in Europe.
Wait, is it going to be a part of your degree? I know there is an internship which you have to do in France to get a degree.
Yeah. But you don't have to do it in France. You can do it everywhere.
Oh, okay, I see. Try Sweden. Try Sweden.
So we hope
I'm sure they have a lot of jobs.
Next, we're going to talk about the clothes that we
Oh,
wear.
but you do speak
I know
French,
there's
right?
a common misconception
Okay.
that in the Arabian Peninsula,
So I guess if you live
everyone
France,
wears the
it
same.
will be such a waste.
Each country actually has its very own style, and we're going to talk a bit about how we Moroccan wear, what we wear. So, men usually go for the very classic kandor, which is the long white garment. Also the latwa, which is the cloth, the agal, which is the headpiece. This is actually a bit more formal. It's usually used for work and formal occasions. This can also be piece of cloth can also be added to make it even more formal, which is the black cloth, known as a bisht. It's usually used for weddings or also worn by our leaders. And for less formal occasions, we usually go with this style. The letter is wrapped around our heads, and it's very popular with younger men, as they usually see them wearing this everywhere. And if you see people look like this, they're most probably from the UAE. It's very specifically from the UAE. And also kids like to wear indoors around. Women wear the traditional abaya, the long black garment, and also the shela, which is the headscarf that covers the hair. And during very special occasions, they wear what's known as the thobe. It is a very elegant version of the normal everyday clothes that they wear with shiny decorations. And in weddings, they basically wear a gold set, gold on their head and their necklaces and earrings and etc. And women also wear the traditional jalabiya, which is very worn popularly around the house, very just plain and colorful. So now I'll pass it along to Isa, and he will talk a bit about our language.
Hi again, I'm back. Yeah. So I want to talk about our language. As we said, it's Arabic, and I know a lot of countries do speak Arabic. The Middle East, most of it does speak Arabic, but why is it different? Well, everyone has their dialect, everyone has their slang. So today, instead of teaching you just very common phrases in Arabic, I want to teach you phrases in Emirati slang, so that when you go to the UAE, you can pretend to be an Emirati. Okay. So let's start with a very basic phrase. Hela. Hela. Try to say it after me. Hela. Hela. That means hello or hi. And it's very simple. We usually say it like informally to our friends, something like that. Just hela. The next one. Hey. That means yes. Try to say it. Hey.
Hey.
Hey. It's like ne in Korean, right? It's very similar. This is a very simple phrase, but a lot of Arabs don't know this. They don't use this. It's very particular to our country. A lot of people, when we say hey, they're like, what? Oh, nah.
What language?
That's the
No, it's
actual
Russian.
word for yes. The next one is yalla. Yalla.
Yeah.
That word means let's.
Yeah, it's
Or
the Turkish language.
basically like the Korean pati. But
No,
also,
there is.
we say it for anything. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to do
But
something faster. I say
think more
yalla.
people speak
I
Russian
wanna.
than Kazakh.
If we're in front of food, I would say yalla, as in let's eat. I'm at the door, yalla, that means let's leave. And it's just let's. And depending on the context, it can be anything really. The next one, hello. Hello. That basically means sweet. That's the original meaning of this word. However, we use it to mean nice. So we would say hello if we liked something. So after the presentation, you are very welcome to come up to me and say, oh, the presentation was very. You're very welcome to try that. It's a very simple word. It has 3 letters in Arabic. I think you can manage it.
Oh.
This is the last
I should have
word.
taken screenshots for the
Shukran.
questions.
This is common to most Arabic-speaking countries. It means thank you. It's a very simple word. Shukran. Thank you.
Do you have a ticket?
Okay, so now we would like to talk to you about the traditional sports of the
No,
United
I don't.
Well, the most popular sport
Because
is
I haven't gotten my visa yet.
football. That is the most popular sport. But we also still
Yeah,
have
I
our
don't.
traditional sports.
I think we should go next week.
Sports that still have a lot of following to this day. So the first one is falconry. Basically, we train falcons to catch and retrieve prey. It was useful for hunting. The falcon is the national animal of the UAE. And as you can see here, we train them, they catch something and they come back to us. The next sport is tajdeed or oaring. Because we were very dependent on the sea, obviously we have that kind of sport. We have oaring, we have sailing. All of those sports have international competitions with a lot of nice prizes in the end. Another one that a lot of people, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be curious about, camel racing. Do we have that? Yes, we do. We do have camel racing. Camel racing is actually very important in our, like, a lot of people follow it, a lot of people participate in it. I don't personally, but there's this. As you can see, they have robots on them instead of people. Instead of jockeys, we use robots that make the camel keep going. Instead of using someone that would burden the animal or that would make him tired or go slower. And now, this is a question that I would like to ask you guys. This is our third quiz. What is the phrase that you would use to tell us how nice the presentation was? Over there? Yeah? Hello. Very nice. Hello. That's the word. And actually, anyone who's curious, it says, say it in Arabic behind it. Now I will talk about the National Day. That is our flag. Red, green, white, and black. Those are our leaders. I just put them in there. They don't actually go on the flag. Okay. So the National Day, what is it about the National Day? The National Day is a very important. It's a very important day for us. It's the one day that we celebrate out because for us, most of our days, most of our holidays, they're about family, they're about society, they're about seeing the people, seeing your relatives, connecting with the people that you know. This day is a chance for us to show our love, our appreciation for our country. As you can see here, the Burj Khalifa is shining with the colors of the flag. Another way that people try to show their love is, simple designs on their cars and just showing the flag and the colors of the flag. And some people go a bit overboard.
People seem to be very focused on the presentation and very speaking.
Yeah. And the UAE kids usually they like to wear the colors of the flag. They would have face tattoos, as you see, and they wear the gold. You can see the earring there. It has the colors of the flag. Schools usually hold festivals. There are dances. People go to watch it, and again, everyone's wearing the color of the flag. And obviously, you cannot celebrate unity alone, can you? We celebrate all together. People from so many different nationalities, from so many different backgrounds come together, especially in the main cities. There are parades where people walk together, they sing, they show their they all wear the colors of the flag. Under red, green, white, and black, we celebrate together, united. And again, that's the end of my part, and I'll pass the microphone to my friend Omar.
So I'm going to talk a bit about energy in the UAE and where we're headed in that direction, because the UAE is actually trying to go a bit more green. For example, by starting projects such as the first nuclear power plants in the region, Baraka Units 1 to 4, and the project bid was actually won by Korea as a main contractor, and this actually built up the relationship between the two countries, and especially ENEC and KHMP, where they're working closely to try to finish the project. And another place is called Masdar City in Abu Dhabi. This is a city that only runs on green energy. So for example, no cars, no regular cars there are allowed, only electrical cars. And the architecture of the city is designed specifically to cool the city naturally without the need of electricity. And all of the electricity that comes to the city is through solar panels. So now I'm going to talk a bit about tourism in the country, because recently the UAE has been very popular, especially with tourism, and Dubai obviously being known as one of the big tourist cities. So we have tourism that offers something for everyone. So for example, we have our staple landmarks, the Burj Khalifa, the tallest tower in the entire world. You can go up there and see the amazing view of Dubai.
Delicious.
The Sheikh Zayed Mosque in Abu Dhabi. It is the third largest mosque in the world, and it's named after our founding father. The Capital Gate Hotel, you can see as soon as you come into the UAE. It is actually the most leaning tower in the entire world, and it is 4 times more leaning than the Tower of Pisa in Italy. Emirates Palace Hotel in Abu Dhabi is a very spectacular hotel at the heart of Abu Dhabi. Dubai Mall, it's a very, very famous mall, one of the largest malls in the entire world. It has an ice rink, indoor theme park, and also a very huge aquarium in the middle of the mall. If you're a bit more extreme, you can zip line over the Dubai Fountain, or even skydive over the Palm Jumeirah. And if you want to have a little bit more fun, you can go to Ferrari World, a theme park in Abu Dhabi, which has many rides for all ages, and also the fastest roller coaster in the entire world. Yes, it's a bit intense, but it's actually pretty fun. So if you're not that extreme, we also have the Yas Marina course in Abu Dhabi. It has Formula 1 racing and also go-karting. So if you're not that extreme, we have something else. So for example, the Miracle Gardens in Dubai, you can go around with your family, see the very nice views. And if you're interested in museums and art and culture, the recently opened second branch of the Louvre Hotel Museum just opened in Abu Dhabi. The spectacular architecture, and also it has many different art pieces internationally and also local art pieces. And Sharjah is actually a cultural center in the UAE. It has many different museums. So for example, the Sharjah Art Museum has many different art pieces locally and also international art pieces. If you want to know more about Islam and the culture, the Sharjah Museum of Islamic Civilization is there. This museum has many different artifacts, such as this very old version of the Quran, and also antique vases from Islamic times. And if you actually want to go deep into the culture, you can visit our traditional souks or markets. They can be found everywhere in the Emirates. Here you can find textiles of all kinds, or spices for all your cooking needs, or even gold and jewelry. So finally, the best thing, food. We're going to talk a bit about the food in the UAE. So first we have khamia. This is a traditionally prepared bread that is often served with cream or honey, cheese or honey, sorry, and it's usually taken with a cup of tea during the morning or even afternoon tea time. Next is shabab. This is basically the UAE version of a pancake. It's slightly more sweet, and it's usually served with jam or honey or syrup, also during the breakfast. The Gaymat, what you just had when you entered, it's basically a donut and it's drizzled on top with some syrup or some honey, and it's very, it's a very staple food in the UAE. Next, haris, probably the most traditional food in the UAE. It is basically wheat boiled, cracked, and beaten with meat until it has a porridge consistency. It is usually eaten during the time of Ramadan. And majbouz, which is a type of a rice dish, which is rice boiled in a broth with Arabian spices, and it is traditionally served with dried lemon. And rigag, it is actually, you can think of it somewhat like a crepe. It's the same traditional way of making a French crepe. However, the end result is a flakier bread, and it's sometimes served with fish sauce or even eggs or omelets or cheese. And balalid, I know it's hard to say that, but usually eaten at breakfast. It's vermicelli noodles that are boiled in water and sugar, and also topped off with an omelet. So, the final question. What city is known as the cultural capital of the UAE?
What was the answer?
Yes.
What was the answer?
That's the end of our presentation.
Cool.